Hey, what's up, my beautiful Leos? Thank you for tuning in. This is your September 2019 astrology forecast. If you would like a reading with me, check the description box below. It's trinityfitnessastrology.com. And please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. This video is coming out a little bit late. I sincerely apologize, but I'm getting to it. Here's your September reading. So this month is all about the mutability, and it's shifting mid-month into a more cardinal energy in Libra, but we have Saturn slowing down to a stop, and that's like the main sort of foundational shift point of what's going on. And with that shifting, that's going to be happening in your day-to-day activity, really. Okay, but let's start from the beginning, shall we? So on August 30th, we had a new moon in Virgo. Now, Virgo for you is your second house. So this is a lot of powerful energy that's very purifying in regards to your self-confidence, your self-worth, the money you make, how you show yourself out into the world. So you may be challenged, things challenging your self-confidence and stepping into your power or making you need to step into your power. And there's a lot of oppositional energy going on right now with Neptune in your 8th house. Neptune is conjunct Black Lilith as well. In your 8th house, that can be a difficult, very subconscious, bring up a lot of subconscious stuff that you didn't even really know you had, or, belief systems that are associated with your self-confidence and your self-worth. All right. If your self-confidence, self-worth is lacking, this opposition is really going to purge up all this stuff that is holding you back. And it could be very confusing. It could be very like you want to escape from it. You want to not feel it. So be aware of that escapism kind of energy, especially as Mars comes into its opposition with Neptune right around the 10th or 11th. That energy is going to be very frustrating. It could be very tiring. A lot of ascension symptoms could be coming up. Okay, so let that be okay, and just bring yourself into each day, one day at a time, because we have the Pluto South Node and Saturn in your 6th house that has to do with your day-to-day activities. So that has been going through a massive reconfiguration and restructuring here, and we'll be continuing to do that here for the next year and a half. Okay, so this for you is all about establishing daily habits and belief systems and routines, almost like rituals, in order to optimize and solidify your self-confidence, your self-esteem, and how you bring yourself out into the world, the money you make that is related to your self-confidence, self-esteem. So when you come out into the world, if you're confident and you know that it's going to happen, money's going to flow to you. Okay. If you're not, and you question yourself, that belief system is going to hold back money big time right now with all this 2nd and 8th house energy. I had a massive experience a couple years ago with the 2nd, 8th house cusp. And, that 8th house is all about that. It's ruled by Scorpio, and it's very plutonic. All this deep, dark, sexual kind of energy is going to be coming through and coming out. And if it's stuff that you don't want to admit to yourself, it's going to be painful. I know for me, it was. But if you're already in that place of full acceptance, then you'll have nothing to worry about. In fact, this is also a big energy of establishing deeper levels of extrasensory perceptions, of psychic gifts and abilities. So throughout this time, you may be experiencing some upgrades and some elevations in that energy. Okay. So we had the new moon that brought in a lot of this really positive, great energy, a lot of trines going on from your 10th house to your 2nd house, which has to do with life purpose in career, in your self-confidence, and then of course over to your 6th house, which is your day-to-day activities. So there's a lot of shifting going on with you in regards to you believing in yourself, really. Direct relationship to, how you bring yourself out in the world. You have Uranus that's sitting in your 10th house. Uranus in the 10th house, you're at the beginning of a massive shift in your life purpose. You're beginning to get these new understandings and these new and this new identity really of who you're meant to be out in this world. And in order to be able to be this person, to match this vision that you have in your mind, you got to step it up, really, and really like test yourself to bring yourself to that level of, okay, I got this. I'm going to do this. If you want to be a millionaire and you're making $50,000 a year right now, you need to be a different person. And that different person is only in here. It's a mindset, right? And Uranus is bringing in that new energy that's really going to rise you up to that challenge. And it may not come in the way you think or the way you want, but it's coming. And this, part of letting go and trusting the process is really, really big right now. Okay. So on September 10th, we have a double yod going on. Now, this yod has a lot, two of the aspects has to do with the moon and with the north node. So this is very destiny, like a destiny awareness kind of energy. Okay. And with the moon being in both of the yods aspected, and the north node, this is, are you emotionally capable of pursuing your dreams? And if not, what is holding you back and why? Okay. We have, let's see, we have, Aquarius is your 7th house. So the moon's going to be in your 7th house, going to your north node in your 12th house. That is very psychic connections. That is very, very deep. You could be meeting new people, new potential business partners. You could even be meeting your twin flame. This very twin flamey kind of energy being in your 12th house. And bring, awareness to, like, if you've had your heart broken recently, that moon's gonna, really purge and pull up what it is that you were meant to learn from that heartbreak, and to be okay with it and let it ride. All right. Now the north node, the 12th house is a bit of a difficult placement because, that's completely unconscious. So you're letting go of all this stuff that you don't even realize you're letting go. You could be having really vivid dreams. Things could be happening. So you're like, I have no idea what the hell's going on in my life. But it's underneath all this stuff that you don't consciously see. It's upgrading you. Okay. So it's also going to be, Jupiter is going to be a part of these yods, as well as the sun. So Jupiter is in your 5th house. So the moon is sextile to Jupiter in your 5th and 7th house. Your 5th house is about flirtation. It's about your inner child being childlike. It's about sports, athleticism. So, bringing out your inner child may help you to connect with the person that you're meant to connect with, to bring you toward your life purpose. You see how all that works out, right? And then with your sun being sextile to the north node from your 12th to your 2nd house, this is going to be clearing out, unconscious and subconscious belief systems and things that are holding you back. This is calling you out on your self-confidence and on your self-respect. All right. Bringing you into this new level, you're becoming a new person. All right. And this is really exciting, but you're going through the thick of it right now. So as these planets come into your 3rd house, it's going to become into more of an understanding with regards to communication. So like each planet coming into the 3rd house, not house, it's going to be, talking to you like, all right, we just felt all this shit that really sucked, but now, what's it trying to teach you? And, the 3rd house also has to do with your home environment. All right. Or I should say your community. All right. Siblings, like people that you love and care about in your immediate environment, your communication with them, also your communication with yourself, from your head to your heart. Okay. This is testing to see, are you living in your heart, or are you all up in your head and not bringing that information in a really optimized manner? Because we also have Chiron here in your 9th house, and Chiron in your 9th house is going to be challenging your belief system. So this is really digging deep in many aspects, in many ways, about what is really holding you back from being confident in yourself. You need to have that confidence, and you're going to, because, the universe is sort of forcing it on us. Okay. So September 13th, we have a full moon, 21 degrees of Pisces, and the Neptune is conjunct Lilith. So that can be a very confusing, very disorienting energy. And this is going to be, again, in your 8th house. So of course, it's going to be opposed all the second house stuff, all your personal planets in the second house. And the eighth house has to do with other people's money. It has to do with legal proceedings. It has to do with subconscious, deep sexual desires and shit that we don't want people to know about. So be prepared, especially with Neptune being in there. Neptune is like delusion and illusion. It can be escapism. It can be addictions. So we want to watch out for, we want to watch out for all this stuff coming up and just wanting to numb it out. Like, this is a strong, like, I don't want to feel it. I just want to numb it out. Just wake me up after it's done kind of thing. But we can't. We got to feel it. We got to face it. We got to go through it. Because if we don't face it and feel it, then Saturn's going to come back through and be like, nope, sorry, get your ass up. You're going. This is like boot camp. This is like SEAL training, special forces, baby. Like, you got to face it. You got to feel it. So do it, make it happen. And you just entered your new solar return. So you are entering into a whole new phase of who you're going to be. You are creating yourself at this next level, which is very exciting, but the hard work has to be done. So do the work now. It's very important. Okay. And on this day, on the 13th, Neptune will be exactly opposite to Mars. And Mars has its way it wants to be. It wants to go forward. It wants to make things happen, especially with Saturn being almost completely stopped right now. It's like, woo, we want to go, but nope, there's some things that we need to figure out still here that you have to look at. On the 18th, when Saturn goes direct, that's when things will start, the pieces will start falling back into place. But until then, you have to be patient and you have to be okay with things sort of just taking their time and doing their own thing. All right? Be comfortable. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's sort of like the theme of this month. But as the energy starts to shift into Libra, it's going to sort of like, you learn your lesson about the self-confidence. Now it's time to communicate what you've learned with yourself and start looking at how you're going to bring that out into the world. But Uranus is going to be quincunxing and sesquiquadrate this energy, which is, again, just bringing more challenges, but also like sort of forcing you to step up. And, this has to do with your communication and your life purpose. So are you going to step up? You could have very unexpected opportunities coming in, but they're going to require sacrifices, and they're going to require you getting out of your comfort zone. And are you going to do that? Are you going to step into your greatness? Okay, so step into that shit, dude. Like, you got this. All right, move into it. All right, September 23rd, the Sun enters Libra, but before that, we have Mercury and Venus. Already heading in there, and they're going to be opposed to the Chiron energy. So, back in April, we had this conjunction with all these personal planets and Chiron, and now we're coming into opposition. Opposition basically means that now everything that we were hopefully learned and faced when there was a conjunction within ourselves, now it's coming around and it's going to influence our environment. So if you're experiencing things in your environment coming at you and just like making things really difficult, you got to ask yourself, what is it that I didn't see, that I didn't learn, that I wasn't honest with myself? And we have to embrace that. Chiron is a very vulnerable energy. It's actually our deepest vulnerable wound. So as that vulnerability comes up, you have to feel it. Okay? And this is in your belief systems. So what do you believe about yourself? That is just, it's outdated. It's not a part of who you are anymore. It's got to go. But it's interesting how we hold on to these belief systems sometimes because that's all we know. They're comfortable. So letting go and stepping into that unknown is a part of this process, and it can be very uncomfortable, I will admit. But you have so much other, strong and growth-inspiring positive energy here. This is a time of surrender and of release. Surrender and release, okay? So then later on in the month, September 28th, we have a new moon at 5 degrees of Libra. Now, this is basically going to be almost exactly opposite to Chiron. So but this is bringing in this new, like, we're able to be vulnerable now. And we're going to bring this vulnerability and we're going to let it shine. We're going to let it teach us, okay? So we can also expect a lot of quincunxing energy as it goes into Libra from Neptune as well. And Neptune being in its home sign is stronger than these personal planets. So the urge for escapism will be strong. The urge to just numb it out will be strong. If we are able to catch ourselves when we have that desire to do it and just sit in it anyways, that's where the magic will happen this month. Okay? So stand in your belief, stand in what you know is the best and right for you, and you will be amazed at the amount of growth that you experience this month. A lot of potential for growth, but a lot of testing as well. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And I'll be back next month with October's monthly forecasting. Also, I do a daily energy report on my Instagram. Spiritual_bodybuilder is my name. So please check that out. And I also do a weekly energy report called Down the Rabbit Hole, because, we can go down some rabbit holes for sure. Describing the energies going on for that particular week. So please check that out as well. And if you would like a reading with me, please go to trinityfitnessastrology.com. All right. Thank you very much. I love you guys, and I'll see you